morning. It is Friday morning and it is time to rise and grind. One more time. I love my Friday mornings. You know why? Because I get to bring on board some of my Women Talk members and we get to have a great discussion. And today you are in for a treat because not only do I have one, not two, but three guests, and we are talking love because, as you know, or as you should know, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. It is, I'm not sure, next week sometime. I don't know if it's like Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. And I thought I would bring a few guests that have all different backgrounds. So without any delay, I'm going to bring by. Oh, before we go there, actually, I must tell you that Nancy Seeger, our corporate sponsor, is not here today. She's down south. Smart girl. Although she's there for work, is like, who wants to be in Calgary? It's going to be minus 30 with the wind chill, minus 35. It's crazy cold over here. So it's a perfect time to celebrate Valentine's Day because, you know, if you cuddle, you stay warm and you get lovey-dovey and two birds with one stone. How do you like that? So Nancy, enjoy the heat. We're going to enjoy the love up here. All right, so let me bring my guests. So I'm going to bring my first guest on. She is the relationship whisperer, the love guru, the incredible Eileen Head. Hello, Eileen.
Woo! Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Cool. So what do you do? What makes you an expert in the love department?
I love to help people discover love. And unfortunately, my phone's ringing. People are calling me for love.
Help!
So what
I
I
need
do,
some more love.
I know. I help people understand how that they feel love and what they're wanting from their partner for love and from other people and how to love themselves.
Very cool. Well, let me bring on board another expert. And
All right,
I
I'll
would
go unplug my phone.
All right, you go unplug your phone. And I'm going to bring on board another expert. And I'm calling her an expert because she has been married to the same person 38 years. Roseanne,
Hello.
38?
Yes.
38 year with the same man?
Yes. And we were together for about 2.5 years before that. So
Wow.
40 years.
yeah, it's amazing.
Wow.
It's amazing. I can't, when I say that, I'm going, oh my gosh, am I even that old?
Like, did you start dating when you were 5 or something?
17.
Very cool. Well, let me bring on board another expert. Sheree Agerskov is divorced and now dating. So she's an expert in another kind of love relationship. Hello, Sheree.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How is everybody doing this morning?
Very, very good. Okay, so
Good.
do you know what I'm an expert at? I'm going to share this with you because a friend of mine gave me this. In case you people don't know, I'm gay. What? That's what my wife says to me all the time. What? You're gay? Oh my God. So when we got married, so Sue and I have been together for 18 years. We have been married for 8. So when we got married, a friend of mine gave me a magnet for my fridge, and it cracks me up every time I see it because there was a debate about letting gay people getting married because God forbid you let gay people get married. So this is what I got.
Support gay marriage. We can't read it all. Support gay marriage. What does it say?
Everyone should have the choice to be miserable.
Come on now, you guys. It can be roses, right?
Oh my God, it is so funny. I love that thing. It's like, yeah, support gay marriage. Everybody's got the right to be miserable. Okay, so let's talk about this. When you're in a long-term relationship, it's not always all rosy and wonderful, is it?
No relationship is, I don't think.
So Roseanne, how do you deal with how do you and your husband of 38 years deal with the difficult patches? Like, do you just give each other space? How do you deal with it?
Yes, giving each other space is definitely key. because you have to develop yourself and know yourself before you can share with another person. So, and sometimes even a relationship with yourself has rough spots. So you have to give yourself that respect and that space, and then come back together, as I guess you could say, to share what's on your mind, and be
Yeah.
respectful, listening to the other person's story, if you want to call it that, of what's on their mind.
Yeah. And what about you, Sheree? So you're dating someone right now. How long have you been
Yes.
divorced?
So I've been divorced. Well, we've been apart for 10 years now, and that was a 20-year marriage. But in that marriage, I didn't do the work. And I think, and it happened to me again. I've been dating the same man for 3 years. And
What makes you an expert
in October, I actually ended it.
Hold on,
And-
Sheree. So one of you guys, like, you need to mute your computers because we hear me talk. Okay. Sorry, Sheree, to interrupt.
So yeah, I was dating. I met him online, 3 years, committed, long distance, together but apart relationship. And I ended it in October. And I think it was because it was just another layer of me I was getting at. And like Roseanne was saying, sometimes it's our relationship with ourself that is the problem, and that's what I'm really working with. I've been working with a counselor who actually works with Enneagrams, Eileen, so you will like that. And so I've discovered that maybe this was me just giving up when it was time to do the work. And so we have been talking a lot, and I've been going for counseling, and we're going to do some counseling together. But I'm feeling like I'm falling in love all over again, because this time I do want to do the work. I can't just run away when it gets, the honeymoon's over, and find something new. So
Beautiful.
So I'm
Now,
working on that.
on work itself. So Eileen, what do you think is a secret to keeping a relationship working?
Exactly what the Sheree and Roseanne has talked about. You must know yourself. You must know how you feel loved. More importantly, I think you need to know your own value. We can get very lost in our relationships with the other person because they can influence us in how we think, how we feel, and how we feel about each other. And so when we're really clear about what we bring to our relationships, our gifts, and our value, most importantly, because that's what we're looking for in all our relationships. Do you value me? Do you value me? Do you value me? And when you know that for yourself, then you can build a strong, independent partnership together.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, it's not. So what do you think? What you guys, when you get really pissed off, like, you just like, oh, I'm just like so mad. What do you guys do? Sheree, what do you do when you get really mad?
I usually kind of shut down. Generally, if I'm really mad, especially like with my partner, I will project onto him. And I'm realizing that when I'm mad at him, it's usually I have to look at what's really going on inside of me. And because he's an easy target, and I often will do that. And I might say something, and I love his response usually when he knows I've gone into that mode. He says, "Go ahead, I got big shoulders. I can take it on," and letting me know that, yeah, I'll carry it for you right now while you work that out. So,
And what
yeah,
about
so
you, Roseanne? What do you do, like, to kind of, bring down the upsetness, the angerness, whatever you call it?
I have to go for a walk.
Go for a walk. Yeah. I think that's what I do too. I like driving, but that's not good because then I get a speeding ticket. It's like, oh shit, yeah, I can't go driving if I'm pissed off. What do you suggest, Eileen, that people do?
One of the rules of relationships is it's okay to express anger. It's okay to express how you're feeling. But there are a couple rules, and it's like no name calling, no pulling the other person down. It is, here's what's happening for me right now, and I'm really pissed off. This is what's happened. This is how I'm reacting to it. And so then you can ask for something. You can say, when you do that, I feel this. What I want or need is this. And that's a great 3-step process to take it off the other person, because you are blaming. When you're blaming, you're not doing your own work. You're in victim. It's your fault I'm feeling this way.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, one thing that I've come to for me is also we all have our triggers. We all have certain things that can trigger us, right? And you know, when you're in a situation, and usually going into the situation, you already know your partner is going to be triggered by whatever the thing is. And to learn to respect that. And, you know, it's not my trigger, so I'm just going to sit back and let it pass. Because when it's my turn, I want the space to be able to get mad.
Well, I like the solution part of it too. It's not, you know, just venting continually. We all know what we're fighting about is not what we're fighting about. There's an underlying issue that's probably a long time issue with you or with your partner together that's been unresolved. And so give us
sure, get all complicated on us. I'm only pissed off at the toilet paper being on the wrong way, God damn it.
You just want to stay in the pissed off, right? Well, you know what? Interestingly enough, anger is energy. And sometimes relationships can get really flat. And so when the anger comes up, as long as it's not destructive, it can bring energy into the relationship too. Like, let's wake up, let's delve into this, let's get some energy.
So Eileen, how do you help people with the Enneagram? What does that do for people?
The Enneagram is a great tool of wisdom. It's been around since the 1700s. It's a well-respected personality model, and it's unique from all other personality models in that it has what's called a path of development. So it very specifically gives you your operator's manual. Here's how you think, here's how you feel, here's how you react, here's what's important to you, here's how you feel loved. And then we all have patterns that sabotage us. You know, you do the same patterns over and over again. It's like, dang, I did it again. I didn't mean to do that, but I did it again. And those triggers you were talking about. And so what's cool about the Enneagram is it absolutely gives you, for your personality type, specific answers to replacing those patterns. And then when you put couple dynamics together and you know that about each other, you really know what's going on and what makes each other tick.
So let me have it. What am I? You can share with people. I'm good.
No, you have the achiever fever. Yeah, he's the 3 achiever.
So when I'm in a relationship, what is it that I have to watch out for?
If I could make a suggestion, choose to, not have to. Choose to be conscious of, for you, work is oxygen. Work can be the juice. You can just be taken in by your work. You love it so much. What's really important is that you focus also enough time on your partnership. Make it part of your success plan. You know, what does my partner need? What does a successful relationship look like? Because success is what drives you.
And Sheree, do you know your Enneagram personality?
I'm not quite clear on it. I was working on it, and I think I came out as more of a 7, if I remember right, but I'm not sure. Oh, Eileen's saying no. Okay.
Oh, what do you think she is, Eileen? And we know this is a guess. You haven't done any work, but we're playing here.
Unprofessional of me, but I have been around you, and personalities are patterns of behavior. I would suggest you look at the 9 Peace Seeker. The similarities between the 7 Optimister and the Peace Seeker is the positiveness, right? But you do it for a different reason, for different values. So, you know, the Peace Seeker is gentle, laid back, easygoing for the most part.
Okay, you've only been around me when I'm like that.
Well, I do know the other patterns of the Peace Seekers too. When you're stressed and when you go into anger, I do know those. So I know what those might be.
So tell us about what, and whether Sheree is or not, what does a Peace Seeker have to watch out for in a relationship, or choose to look at?
So the Peace Seeker personality is formed by the age of 7, and for the Peace Seeker, For them, they avoid conflict at all costs. They want peace. They want harmony. So when any sort of conflict comes up, they tend to shut down.
Yeah.
And and so then it goes into passive aggressive behavior. They don't have the tools until development to start working through that, to have that voice, to speak up, to share what they need.
Oh, I think she might have you pinned down there, Sheree.
I am finding my voice though and understanding my.
Well,
I
so
am
Eileen,
starting to
share with us about that too. Like when you're a certain personality, once you do some growth, things really change for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. People who knew me from years ago tell me I'm a totally different person. And that's because I really have a strong foundation now. I know who I am. And I've worked on that muscle, Sheree, of speaking up, of giving myself a voice. And hearing you speak at Women Talk I was absolutely floored to hear your story and how well you were speaking up with it. So that's a growth, right? That's a personal development growth. And look how that's opening up your life for you. That's what inner work does.
It's unbelievable how my world is opening up. Yeah.
Yes. That inner work of knowing who you are.
Absolutely.
Now, what about you, Roseanne? Do you know about the Enneagram? Do you know sort of your personality or?
Well, what Eileen just described for a peacekeeper, I know I am a peacekeeper. And I have had opportunities for improvement, I like to call them, in the past where I would shut down. And because of my growth, I talk now.
Nice.
Get it all.
And tell me how that feels. How is that different for you?
Oh, I can breathe. It feels so much better. Yes.
Yeah.
And I can interact better.
See, these patterns see the box where we're all in? Our patterns of our personality, undeveloped, keep us in this box. Yeah. As we learn these patterns and change to more enhancing patterns, we get released out of these boxes.
Right.
So I want to talk a little bit about the difference being straight or gay in relationships. I think that these have really shrunk, but I remember years ago, when you weren't allowed to be married, because gay relationships were not valued, like it's amazing. And the reason I'm sharing this, I'm going somewhere, so stick with me. So there is a thing. It's been really interesting and very amazingly positive for me to watch it happen. Is years ago when society did not value gay relationships, gay people did not value their relationships. And therefore, we're all the gay bars and the chandelier hanging and the changing partners continuously. And I know I'm generalizing, but I have seen a huge shift. I came out in 1982, so it was a very different world. And not only were you not allowed to be married, you weren't allowed to even tell people, right? So people just did not treat their relationships really well. And it's my point on this is it's very amazing how the people around you will actually affect your relationship and your marriage. How do you guys feel about that? Like if you're around people that don't value it, then it affects how you value your relationship. Any comments?
Yeah, I would say that, everything comes down to values. And our whole life is based on beliefs and values. And for the gay community, when people don't value, when we live in a heterosexual community, we're looking for value. But on top of that, for gay people, there's the stigma, the whole thing around just what you said. You're not allowed to be who you are. You're not allowed to claim who you are. You're not, or proclaim who you are. And that goes right, in my opinion, to the depth of your soul. And that makes relationships really, really challenging.
So let's bring that around to when you are in a straight marriage. I think that you need to pick your friends very wisely, because I often see people that have friends that do not value marriages all that good. Like they'll have an affair or, like I think it can affect your marriage. What do you guys think? Roseanne, what do you think of that?
Yes, having a good support system around you is very important. And what you just said about people valuing your relationship, it could go also with like interracial marriages. I could see that would be a hot topic as well. And I mean, um, I have friends and family who are in marriages and relationships like that, and because we all support them, I think it makes it more cherished for them.
Yeah, because I think we all get in these rough spots, right? We're all going to go there sooner or later. And if the people around you, they're like, just leave them, like, leave them,
Yeah.
it will affect your relationship. What do you
And
think,
the other
Sheree?
part, oh,
Yeah.
sorry, can I just jump in? And the
Yeah.
other part of that is, Sheree, you've gone through divorce like I have. And when I divorced, my whole social structure left me. I was a risk now. I was a risk with the men, and I was a risk around the women as well. And that's exactly what you said. We didn't have the same values anymore.
Yeah.
I broke the value of I'm not happy, I'm leaving, rather than a lot of people, I'm not happy, but my belief and value is I'll stay anyway.
Yeah, and I know. So when I met Sue, I was in a 10-year relationship before Sue, so it was sort of a divorce. And whoo, people freak out when you leave, and they don't even know why you're leaving. They just know you're the one leaving, therefore you're the bad person.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hard. Did you go through that, Sheree?
Oh, very much so. I was just a very lost soul. It was my trauma from my past that was coming up, and it needed to be dealt with. But I didn't know what it all was, and I needed to get out of the marriage to find myself. Now, in order to find myself, I had to go to some bad places. But it's always was learning for me, and yeah, it was. I lost a lot of relationships when our marriage ended because people believed, it was a different. I didn't have the same values.
So
They make assumptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Roseanne, you've never been divorced, but I'm sure you have friends who have gotten divorced. Do you find yourself feeling threatened when somebody leaves a marriage? Like, does it affect you? Because I think that's one of the things people don't like it because I don't know, like you think, well, your spouse might leave you, or maybe you should leave yours. Like, do you find that affects you?
It does affect us. I know that when my sisters had divorces, my husband was wondering, well, are you going to leave me too? And it was during a time of our marriage that there was a bit of a rough spot. And I knew that I would never leave him.
That's beautiful.
And
When I,
for having the rough spot.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Eileen?
when I left, there were women getting new BMWs, diamond earrings. There was one couple who'd been married for 15 years, but she'd never got an engagement ring, got taken out to Invermere, got wined and dined and got an engagement ring. People went into a huge spin, and then they spun me out.
Yeah. Susan here has a great point. Like she says, it's appalling sometimes how people treat you. And that really bothered me too when I left my previous relationship, because people did not know my reason for leaving. And by the way, my reason was that I wanted to have children. And that was like tugging on my heart. Like it was so hard. But yeah, I literally had people say, I need to pick a side, and I picked the other person's side, not you, because you're leaving.
Oh, yeah.
Like, people, don't do that. It is not nice.
I lost you. Yes, people I'd known for 20 years, and just,
Yeah, like, don't pick sides.
There is no side.
Don't pick sides.
There is no side.
What do you feel about that, Eileen? Do you think people should pick sides?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because, I've really, with age comes wisdom, right? For all of us. Yes. I'm still intense, but boy, if you knew me back then, you would think, man, is she laid back now?
Yeah.
It is about, I believe it's honoring the person who honors themselves, wherever that is and however that is. So if they feel in order to honor themselves, they need to leave that relationship, I feel that's just really important. Like, allow people to be who they are, whether they're gay, whether they're in interracial marriages, but to come to that love for themselves. And there is nothing like that feeling of love for yourself. You know, I have, there's days I skip around this house and I have never felt happiness in my whole life. And, you know, one of my sayings is, I love my life, life is good. Even on days when it's not good, I say that, and that creates the life. And if you're struggling, get out there and get it, because it's an awful existence until you're in love.
Yeah, I have, I was actually going to show this, but there's 4 of us, so we don't have any more screen. But I have this little poster here that says, I'm not searching for my other half because I'm not enough. I thought that was great. Now, okay, let's have some fun and go down memory lane as when we were teenagers. Who was your big crush? Like, what couple did you just love as a teenager? I'm curious. And I'll share mine to get it going. So mine, it was Grease. John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. It was like, oh my God, I was so in love with them. They were so awesome. And I got chills. It was so good. That show was so amazing. And, you know, it really formed. But of course, with me, I did not know at the time because I was an adult by the time I figured out I was gay. But my sister and I used to, my mom bought us the record, which it was one of the worst things she's ever done, she says, because we played that thing nonstop. And my sister and I would role play. And of course, I would always be John. What about you, Sheree? Did you have a couple as a teenager that you were just like, oh my God, it's beautiful?
Yes. Well, I did. When you mentioned John Travolta, I did have a big crush on John Travolta. Welcome Back, Kotter. And then Donny Osmond and the Partridge Family. What was his name? Sean Cassidy. I had a huge crush.
But did you have, like, as a couple, was there a couple that you would watch and you wanted to be them?
Yeah, me and one of them. That.
Let's just call it. That's just wanting to make out.
I don't know that
I can hear what Sheree's saying. I can't hear a thing of what Sheree's saying.
Oh, she's saying her crush was Sean Cassidy and the Partridge Family, Donny Osmond.
Oh yes, Donny Osmond.
and John Travolta. What about you, Roseanne? Did you have like a crush on a couple or a guy that you were just daydreaming about as a teenager?
I was just trying to think. I don't think I actually had a crush on a couple, but I thought they were cute together. Was Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell?
Oh yes! Oh my God!
Yes, they are.
Yes.
And did you see I just watched a Christmas movie with Kurt Russell as Santa. And Goldie Hawn does an appearance. Oh my God, it's so good. I loved it.
I saw it.
Yeah. What about really you, good. Eileen? Did you have a...
Well, John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. I mean, that was just magic on the screen. And you know, the energy, you know, it's that energy they had together, the excitement, that's what we're looking for, is more juice in our life, right?
Do you think do you guys think you're able to do that as a 50 plus?
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think our relationship is better now than it ever has been.
Yeah, it's different, but better.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're a little more secure within yourself.
Well, what I would say as a single going into a relationship, we've done a lot of the independent introspection that sometimes people in relationships don't take the time to do, right? So coming into it, I think you come in at a different level than when I was married for 35 years. So I have some understanding of long-term relationships as well.
Susan Hoy says hers was Susan Sarandon and Tim, whatever his name is. I don't know who that is. I'll have to go look it up.
Yeah.
I know Susan Sarandon, but was that like a movie or something? Do you guys know?
No, they were life partners for a while.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, what are you guys? Do you have anything planned for Valentine's Day?
I have
I'm
Women
taking my
Talk
husband out on a
Langdon.
date, and he doesn't know where we're going yet.
Oh, look at you. See,
Nice.
that's probably why you're still married after 38 years. I'm going to work. Sherry's going to work. What about you,
Yeah.
Eileen?
Well, I might go dancing, as I always do.
Oh,
Yeah.
Eileen is like, she loves her dancing. Now, you know what? I think dancing could be really good for couples.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. There's lots of couples that come for dance lessons. And if they can make it through the dance lessons and get to the part where they can actually dance, then they really enjoy it. But it's
Yeah.
the intern that can be kind of dicey.
See, I would actually consider that, but we have a whole other issue we need to deal with. Who's the man? Whose
Who
hand
leads?
goes up and whose hands goes on? Then we get in an argument. I'm kidding. But you know, it's funny dynamics, right? Because when you're in heterosexual relationships, the roles are kind of decide for you often. When you're in a
Right.
gay relationship, you got to figure it all out. You start at ground zero. Who takes out the garbage? Who changes the oil? Who puts their hands up when you're dancing or down?
So somewhat I would agree with you, but when it comes to personalities, so if you're looking at an 8 asserter woman who is in a relationship with a 9 peace seeker partner, and I have friends like that, she takes the lead. She is the lead because she is the stronger personality, and that 9 peace seeker is happily goes along, and things are taken care of until he wants something, and then he speaks up. And that's the dynamics of their relationships. So it just depends on the couple dynamics together and the personalities, right?
That is brilliant. Okay, so before we go, we're almost done here. One piece of advice. We're going to start with the magical 38-year marriage. If you had one piece of advice for people, what would it be?
Respect yourself, respect the other person, and share your love freely.
Nice. What about you, Sheree?
That's a tough one. I guess to not give up and to always be looking within and growing.
And our expert, Eileen?
I would say, you know what, to get the depth of emotional, connected, loving relationships, learn your couple dynamics and Enneagram together.
Yes.
Yeah, that really does help. It really, really does. I don't know. My piece of advice would be drink tequila. It really helps.
Yes, a little wine is always good. Yep.
Yeah. But I think having fun, which is great because my wife is 7, I think the number is. And she's all about wanting to have fun. And, you know, sometimes when life gets really busy and the relationship can get like to have somebody like that can bring the fun is marvelous.
Yes, I agree with you, Brigitte. Humor is a very important part of our relationship.
Yeah. Whatever. If you can turn things into humor, or laugh at yourself and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this again. I've just done this to you again."
Yeah. So Eileen, if people would like to find out a little bit more about you and what you do for people, where can they? Do you have anything going on right now?
I do have a number of things. Go to my website, eileenhead.com. There are Valentine's specials for couple dynamics. There's a package for singles. And I have my online relationship program called Get Love the Way You Need.
Sounds good.
Get love the way you need. I like that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, so you like, can I request like you do everything I say and you don't question anything? Would that work? Oh, I'm joking, Eileen.
I know, but I'm so serious about this. You need to know your fundamental core emotional need.
I agree. I was just trying to have fun. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. And we have Eileen's link in the comments below. If you want to go check out our program, it's eileenhead.com. And Sheree, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, ladies.
Okay. And before we go, I must say it because we said we would. I would just like you guys to notice we're all wearing red except Sheree.
She's in transition.
I didn't get the memo.
And I got a teaser with this. And you know what they say about black?
Hey,
It's pretty sexy.
It is very sexy. I love actually black
Yeah, I
is
got
a
my-
fabulous color.
got my scrubs on going to work.
Going to work. Well, thank you, Roseanne, as well, for bringing some of your thoughts and expertise, because being married 38 years is like,
Wow.
that's amazing. And you look very happy. That's one thing. You know, there are people that are married for 30 some years and they kind of look miserable, actually. Some. So it's like, that's wonderful to see.
Well,
Yes.
my husband does a good job of keeping me happy.
Nice.
Wonderful. And thank you again, Eileen, for joining us. And have a fabulous Friday, everybody. And we will see you next week. We have Nancy Seeger will be back, and we have a special guest as well. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See
Make
you.
life
Bye bye.
juicy. Make life juicy.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo!